Welcome to the Iron Self podcast, where we jump into health, fitness, mindset, and becoming the best version of yourself. Today with your hosts, Mike and Kayla Minion. All right, guys, welcome to the Iron Self podcast. And we haven't done a guest episode in a really long time. And we thought, we might as well hop back to it. And what better way of hopping back to it than with Randy? Randy has had so much success with weight loss, mobility, longevity for his life. So we are super excited to get to share Randy's story, for him to share his trials and tribulations through the process of working with us. And
mostly tribulations. He was working with me. No.
And we are just really, really excited to be able to share his story, and hopefully it inspires other people to get active and to know that there is hope at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah, 100%.
So Randy, if you can give us a little bit of a background. I know, like, when we first started chatting here today, you said in June of 2019, you weighed in at about 317 pounds. So give us an idea, what was going on in your life at that time, and where were you at?
Well, I was driving a logging truck, and of course, everywhere you go nowadays, fast food is everywhere, and it's just so convenient. I never had to do anything like that in my life, is to watch my weight or anything, but then I started driving truck, and golly gee whiz, you're sitting there all day and not getting any exercise, and you got your lunch bag right beside you, and well, let's eat. And you're staying out in this town, out in that town, and you're hungry. Oh, there's a fast food restaurant. Let's go eat there. Let's go eat that. And then my hip was starting to even bother me more. And my hip was giving me lots of problems, to the point where I couldn't even push a clutch in anymore.
Yeah.
So then I went on disability, and I had my hip replaced in February 9th of 2022. And the surgery was a success. I mean, when you're walking, you got to walk with a cane, and your left leg was 3/4 of an inch shorter than your right one. When you're walking on the crown of a road, and boy, it sure feels good to walk on the right side of the road, because now my hips are even, because I'm walking on the crown of the road, because my left leg was 3/4 inch shorter. But during the hip replacement surgery, they fixed that on. Both my legs are the same size now. And had that surgery, and it's very successful. And then through the insurance company, I met Mike, Iron Body.
Love it. So I guess my big question there, because obviously you went in, we had hip replacement surgery, and then we're looking at a road to recovery, and recovery looks different for every single person. So when we are looking at getting a hip replacement, when we do have the extra weight on there, and then starting to rehabilitate that, I mean, give me an idea of what it felt like when we very first started working together towards, just getting movement back in that hip, and where the mindset was at that point.
Well, between the physiotherapy and the exercise, it was like, wow, I can feel this coming along. And then you look at the progress that I had over 8 weeks, or, the first couple weeks, like, you want me to do what? You want me to climb up there? Wow. Okay, let's give it a try, because I'm determined to get this thing up and running. I want to get better. I want to get better, and without exercise, it's not going to happen. Without movement, then.
One of the things you said was that when you first came to us, that you had a hard time just getting a dime off the ground, and how that was like a really big feat for you. Now looking back at those moments, in that moment, did you ever feel like life was going to get easier, or did it always just feel like it was so much effort?
Well, that part that you're talking about, Kayla, was the second phase of my stuff with you. I mean, that was after hip surgery, after we retired, and I went like, now I want to get into the best shape of my life. That was about a year later that I retired from work, and I went like, okay, that's it. I want to get in the best shape of my life. And in February of 2023, when I retired, my goal was to be in the best shape of my life by December 17th, my 65th birthday, and to lose 90 pounds. And I did it by myself at first, but then joined in with Mike and Kayla for the exercise and stretching. And I mean, when you're that much overweight, it's easy to lose weight. Because doggone it, I mean, it can go down so fast if you watch your dieting a bit and that, and get your exercise. And when you can concentrate on it as a full-time job, not just as, hey, I'm just going to do this for a couple hours every day. No, it's a full-time job now to do it. Get in the best shape in your life. Probably one of the best things I've ever done in my life
Mhm.
was to join in with Mike and Kayla and do this. I mean, right now I just feel so good, guys. It's just awesome.
Well, that's a big part of the reason we wanted to bring you on here today, Randy, just because there's so many people that go through this life and they assume that, because of circumstances, because of where they're currently at, that they're going to feel stuck there forever. So seeing that, yes, it takes work, yes, it takes dedication, but there is that possibility to find yourself, find the things that you enjoy and that you love doing. So as far as that, like with the mobility that came with it, with the strength that came with the workouts and with the nutrition and everything that we did, give me a little bit of an idea of what it kind of gave you back. Where did you start to notice the big changes? And what were some of the big ones that like kind of just stay marked in your head from where we began to where we are now? Those points where it was like, holy shit, I can do this.
Well, I mean, I came to Mike and Kayla with a list of stuff that I wanted to do. I wanted to be able to pick up a dime off the ground, like Kayla was saying, which I couldn't do. I couldn't bend over that far, guys. I just couldn't bend over, and getting down on one knee. Oh my gosh. I took yoga with these guys, and I'm going like, you want me to do what? You want me to do what? And Kayla goes like, Randy, you can do it. Randy, you can do it. Come on, guys, you can do it. You can do it. And so they kept on just going, and but yeah, when you're that far out of shape, and your health depends upon it, your life depends upon it, and just everything you want to do depends upon it. You got to do it. It's it it is a mobility issue, and if you can make it your full-time job, take a sabbatical of a year off work and live on whatever you can, but you're gonna have your life back, guys.
Hmm.
I mean, I smoked for many years. Many years I smoked those cigarettes, and it was a tough call. I mean, I tried everything out there to try and quit smoking, but finally it was the willpower that did it, and doing a few extra things, and I did it. And you know what? Now I don't even ever have a single craving ever again. I've never had a, a craving. So yeah, it's quite something. I mean, here just the other day, I stopped in at a store, and here are the guys there, and going like, Andy, how are you doing? I'm good. But after about 4 minutes conversation, I realized that he didn't recognize me. After losing 120 pounds, like, people just don't recognize you anymore.
No.
I mean, it is that simple. People just don't recognize. And then you explain to them, you go like, holy cow, I would never guess that was you. I mean, I showed my this other friend of mine a picture of myself from about 4 years ago, and says, "You recognize that guy?" He says, "No, kind of." He says, "That's me 4 years ago in that picture."
Crazy.
And yeah, that was just incredible. I mean, but I mean, I was doing it by myself, and on the weight loss and that, and the exercise, and I started the exercise with Mike and Kayla, and then my weight, I was eating about 1,500 calories a day, and I stalled.
Hmm.
Could not lose any more weight. So then I went up to them and I says, "Can you put me on your nutrition program?" So Kayla, who's the expert in that, she turned around and goes, "Okay, Randy, let's do it." Well, doggone it, if I mean, I was eating about 1,500 calories a day, and Kayla bumped me up to, I think it was 2,500. Is that right, Kayla?
Yeah, right around that. Yeah.
Yeah, about 2,500 calories a day. Boy, that's a lot of food going from 1,500 to 2,500 calories in a day. Well, at the end of the week, I lost 5 pounds that week.
The body just wanted
So
it.
would you say that's one of your biggest surprises as far as like, obviously coming in this, Kayla and I, we do this for a living. We are the professionals in this field. So coming in as somebody that doesn't have that background, was it surprising to you how much food that we were asking you to eat? And was there any concern over that at the start?
No, because I really enjoyed listening. I mean, I was doing lots of walks and that, and I enjoyed listening to all your podcasts and just how positive you were on the whole thing, that I just totally believed in you guys. Believed in you that we could do it. I mean, we worked through the fires, we worked through some operations and this and that, and well, here I am today. I mean, I'm down at 290 pounds, or 290, 190 pounds.
That's
So,
absolutely crazy to think, hey?
Yeah,
so
I love it.
That's 127 pounds down, Randy.
oh yeah, oh yeah.
And
Since
counting.
since 2019, and I mean, I still work out every day. I mean, I still watch what I eat. I mean, but it's kind of crazy, you know. I mean, there'll be a couple of days here this week that I never did anything, and I ate about the same as I do when I'm working and that, or when I'm at home, when the food's readily available. And I still lost a pound each day. I'm going like, okay. But Kayla gave me some real good advice that I got to bump my calories up now that I'm not dieting anymore.
100%.
So, so yeah, I don't have those notes in front of me of how much you wanted me to bump up there, Kayla. But it was like, okay. I mean, everything else worked. I'll believe you on that too. So
100%. So if I go back to my notes on that, so I said my suggestion would be to start at jumping your calories up by about 300. So this would take us to a refeed calories about 2,052 calories from where we were. I said, stay here for 2 to 3 weeks, allow the weight to stabilize. And you may notice your weight flux within a couple pounds up and down, right? And then as the body begins to stabilize fluid levels and all of that, then we can begin to jump by about 150 to 200 calories every week until we're at what calculated maintenance for your physical activity level is 2,500 to 2,800 calories. But we've learned in our time together, Mike and I, that
Calculate maintenance is always different.
calculated maintenance isn't always maintenance. So Mike's calculated maintenance is about 1,000 calories above maintenance. Mine is pretty darn close to where my calculated maintenance is. I'm about 100 to 200 above that, just due to my physical activity level. So for yourself, Randy, we know that you have a fairly good physical activity level now. So, keep playing with those calories until the weight wants to come back on, and then dial that in to exactly find that sweet spot.
yeah, I mean, the other thing that really enticed me into getting active and mobile again and losing weight was playing pickleball. When I retired, I started playing pickleball and went like, wow, this is a lot of fun, but I can't move. I can't move. And with pickleball, you got to be fairly agile if you want to get better at it and truly enjoy it. So that was another big thing for me was, hey, if I want to do all this stuff, I have to become agile. And Mike played pickleball. Kayla knows a lot about it, and they know what it takes to play the game.
Lots of lunges.
Mobility, yes. And just thinking about your mobility level and your strength in pickleball from when you started to where you are now, what do you notice the changes in your athletic abilities?
Just incredible. I mean, a lot of people, they don't want to play against me anymore. Where before they would just totally wax me, and now they don't want to play against me anymore because I've become so much more mobile. I can move so much faster on the court. I mean, I turned around and told them, I said, Mike and Kayla, I says, how do you do this? How do you do that? How do you become more of this and more of that? And they said, we'll get you going and doing this exercise and doing this exercise and these steps, and I'll get you more mobile. And I put my trust in them, and doggone it, boy, did it work well.
Now, thinking about your journey and, the fact that you had hip replacement surgery and that you noticed your own lack of mobility, what was like the straw that broke the camel's back where you said, that's it, I want to get in the best shape of my life for my 65th birthday? Like, what was like the main driver and motivator? Because I know a lot of people, they'll have like a goal, but then the goal doesn't feel as exciting enough 3 months down the road. You know what I mean? So what kind of inspired you to begin with, and what kept you going?
Well, I've always enjoyed walking and climbing mountains and all that type of stuff. And but the pickleball was a big thing. I enjoy geocaching, which you have to do lots of. I mean, at times, if you want, you can go climb a mountain for that geocache, and or else you can go for a walk for 10 kilometers and get that geocache. And it's just being able to do things so much better. I mean, it's we burned firewood at home. So we went and got our firewood here this spring. I'm going like, wow, was that easy to do this year? That was just so easy. I'm willing to do more because I mean I can lift these trees up no problem by myself. And I mean we just use smaller birch. I mean, so I mean, yeah, lifting one by yourself, it's only about, at about 120 pounds or something like that. And I mean now I can, do a deadlift, of what, 140 pounds and not even think twice about it. So yeah, it's but I never really had a motivation other than this is what I wanted. This was my goal. Nobody was pushing me there
Mm-hmm.
to get to that certain point.
What I will say about that, Randy, is that you're a bit of a unicorn in that sense, because there's so many people that want a goal, but then there comes like the questioning, there comes the can I do this? There's that naysaying voice for a lot of people that really strikes up. So being able to persevere through that and being able to be so laser focused on your goals, and really just jumping in with 2 feet is like that's like a superpower. So you, my friend, have that superpower, the ability to see a goal, create it in your mind, whatever that goal might be, and then the tenacity to just work through all of the obstacles and push yourself to those limits to be able to push for those goals. I mean, I remember when we first started and you told me that you wanted to get back to being able to walk 10,000 steps in a day. And now, I mean, I don't know your exact numbers, but I mean, let's talk about your step count here for a second, because I bet you it's a lot higher than 10,000.
Oh yeah, I mean, I just passed 3 million steps for this year.
Wow.
So I mean, yeah, 3 million steps for the year. I think it works out to an average of 20,000 steps a day.
Yeah.
Wow.
Right.
Is what I do. And then I mean, I've never jogged in my life. I've never been an athlete in my life. So for me to do something like this was just incredible. And I mean, this morning I went and jogged for 5K kilometers. So yeah, it's life's a lot different, and I'm sure enjoying it. And now when I go for a drive or something like that for 2 hours and 3 hours, I mean, I gotta stop, and I got so much energy that I gotta go jogging here for 20 minutes just to get all that energy out of me. Because I'm stiff and sore and that, and we're like, wow, it's just freaking awesome. Like you can do this. Like, I mean, I would never, when I was driving truck, I would never do anything like that. Like, you want me to get out of the truck?
But you pay me to drive the truck. No.
Yeah. Oh yeah. 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 But I mean, I did have certain goals. I mean, when I was doing this all, it was usually 10,000 steps before breakfast. You know, was one of my goals. And breakfast would then be about 9 o'clock or so. I mean, I have my own gym in the basement because I'm 20 minutes away from the fitness center. Well, I'll just buy the stuff, and I had some bunch of it ready, and this way here I can go into my own fitness center at my own time. Because I mean, how much did all this cost you guys to get all that weight on? How much was the cost? How much did you spend on junk food that was no good, that never did anything for you? And so yeah, I mean, it's going to cost you money to lose the weight. And if you hire a fitness and nutrition coach, man, oh man, it's going to be so much easier for you to do it. because it costs you that much money to put it on, it's going to cost you money to take it off. So if you're not living close to a fitness center, 24-hour fitness center, build one in your basement.
Mm-hmm.
And then hire a good coach like Kale and Mike who will do it remotely as well from anywhere in the world if you want to do it. So
100%.
That's awesome. So, Randy, it sounds like one of the biggest things that took place for you to keep you motivated and going was gamifying your activity, right? So that ability to go, oh, I'm going to go play pickleball. I'm going to set a goal for myself for my steps before breakfast. I'm going to go geocaching. Like these things that allow us to have fun in the process and building that fun into it. It sounds like your mindset changed in the process. And that is something that I'm really super curious about. How do you go from sitting in a truck, I'm not going to get out of the truck, I'm not interested in that, to, I want to tackle these big giant goals. Like it's such a switch in personality. And so like, I know you're married and you've obviously been married a long time. What does your wife notice about the switches in your personality? And like, how does that impact your relationship together?
well, yeah, that's the wife. She's at a weight she's been dealing with weight all her whole life too. And like a lot of people, they've been dealing with the weight the whole life, and myself too. I didn't worry about it too much, and it was just the last 5 years, and I'm like, well, something has to be done, and you got to make it a full-time job. Your attitude will change, especially when you start dieting. You're going like, well, I should like some food, but I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to snack. I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to stick by my 1,700 calories a day by using my macros. And yeah, you are going to have issues with your uh, mentality. It's going to get to you after a while. And sometimes that's the time that you go like, I need to be by myself. I need to go for that walk and think about this because it is a trying time. I mean, so many times you go, hey, we got issues and let's go have some sugar. Let's go have a chocolate bar. Let's go do this. Let's go do that. Right. It's easy because this stuff is all everywhere. All our, I'll go grab a hamburger from this place or hamburger from that place. That'll make me feel better. That'll make me feel relaxed. Well, when you're on a journey, a fitness journey, you just can't do that because that's just going to mess you totally up. And you got to be very self-centered and you got to have good coaches. And Mike and Kayla, some of the comments they get on all of I've been on and off with them for a couple of years now or more than that. And they're very good coaching. They will always try and pick you up and go, hey, you can do it. You can do it. You can do it. It's going to, and they have the strength, in their power calls and if you go to seeing them weekly or bi-weekly, come on, you can do it. You can do it. It is an encouragement center. They are always encouraging you to the next level, and they weigh you in and take pictures of you and you go like, wow, I don't want to get weighed this week because I gained weight. Hey, that's okay, right?
Yeah. I think one of my favorite things, Randy, just when Kayla was talking, like asking you the last question there, it brought me back to when you and I very first started working together when it was all like through insurance with the rehabilitation for your hip. And I remembered one of our very first sessions, you told me you're like, I've never been a workout guy. I don't really like the workouts, but you tell me what to do and I'll just do it. And then shortly after that, we had a conversation once we started to get more mobility through your hip and you're kind of like, okay, like I'm moving better and feeling better about it. So we had that conversation about let's find something that you love to do that's active, right? And it doesn't have to be exercise. Like I give a shit if you lift a weight, but I want you to find something that you love doing and just start doing it. So you started exploring different ideas. And that I think is where we started to dabble into pickleball. And that's where you started to get back into biking and just the change in that mindset when you were like, oh, it doesn't have to just be this one thing. And now, again, the change in the mindset to, well, now I've gone and bought everything. I need to do my workouts at home because I actually fell in love with the process. So I love that mindset shift, because I'm all about mindset shifts. So I love that there was that piece of resistance at the start, and it's kind of come full circle back around to, you know what, this actually makes me feel good. And when I have the strength to do the things that I love doing, it makes me feel good.
Mhm.
So I just wanted to throw that out there, because that for me was a big turning point in the journey that I got to have with you, where it was like, you know what, let's just make it something that you love doing, so then it becomes part of your life.
Well,
Well, yeah, okay. Go ahead.
one of the things that I notice in a lot of people's journey is that they get stuck in the fear of change, the fear of what if it doesn't work, what if it's all for nothing. And it really sounds like in your journey, you didn't encounter that fear, or you pushed it to the side and you said, screw it, I'm just going to try anyways. Like, do you feel that there was moments in this journey for you that like fear became a factor, or do you feel that you were constantly like, nope, I'm doing this, I don't care what fear says?
Pretty much, yeah. Yeah. I mean, I was like, no, I'm doing it. I'm gonna get to my goal weight. Well, the really interesting thing is when I was 290 pounds and first walked in there, I told Mike what my goal was, that by Christmas I want to be 200 pounds, and he said, well, how about 210? Like, maybe you're over pushing it. I said, no, I want to be 200. Well, I didn't quite meet it. I think I was 208, but had a good time getting there. And the other thing that Mike just brought up to my attention was I always enjoyed riding bike. When we lived in the city of Edmonton, I mean, I was riding bike and this and that, but that's nice flat ground. Now I'm living in the country, gravel roads, it's tough to ride bike. So I'm going to buy myself an e-bike. One of the best things I ever invested my money in. Yeah, they're a little bit pricey, but last year, this time, I'd go for a 40-kilometer bike ride and I'd come home with 20% of the battery left. This year, I go for a 40. The other day, I went for a 40-kilometer bike ride. I come home with 87% of the battery left. My legs were rubber, but boy, did I feel good, and boy, did I feel proud and going like, well, thanks, Mike and Kayla, for what you did. I mean, that's a lot of battery left for 40 kilometers. When last year I had 20% of the battery left, now I got 87% of the battery left. That's a real indicator right there, people, that it's a real good goal to reach, how much battery life you're going to have left after so many kilometers, and mark it down, write it down. The other thing that I suggest is buy yourself a good smartwatch, one that will track your running, track your steps, track your heart rate, track everything as much as possible. Don't skimp on the money on that either, and it'll be a lifetime with you, and it'll keep all of those stats for you.
I love it.
Yeah, I love it. So I'm gonna journey back to nutrition, because I want to talk about one of my favorite memories with you, Randy, is when, I think your weight had stalled at one point. And so we were trying to fine tune, what's going on, because I really didn't want to drop your calories. And you were eating primarily whole foods. Like, the reality is like, you were within your calories, you were eating whole foods. And when we looked at it, I think you were having like 3 or 4 cups of milk a day, like a glass of milk with each meal. And like your sugars were like, your daily sugar intake was like almost like at 100 grams every single day. And you were literally eating whole foods and drinking milk, which is considered a whole food. And the one thing I said to you, I was like, well, do you require milk at every meal? And you're like, well, I really enjoy it. And I said, okay, could we, cut that back? Like, let's see what it does to your sugar intake, and let's see what it does to your glucose levels, and see how that changes. I don't want to change anything else with your food. And there was a bit of a pushback, but I know that you were like so dedicated to wanting to see that progress. And when the progress had stalled, it was like, now what? And so we made that shift. How did that shift feel for you?
Well, you explained it in a very nice, firm way. keep keep your keep your sugars down to about 25, 30 grams a day, and you'll lose your gut to begin with. I mean, my doctor too, he turned and says, Randy, he says, lose your gut and you lose your chance of diabetes.
Yeah.
That's the other big thing is that, yeah, I mean, my heart rate, I don't have the notes with me. I don't know if you can pick them up there, Mike, but, my blood pressure dropped 20, 30 points. My heart rate dropped 15 points.
Yeah.
I mean, it's huge, guy. I mean, taking a sabbatical for 1 year will give you another, and you get in shape, and that will give you another 10, 15 years of your life. The way I look at it.
100%. So I do have the notes here. So we lowered blood pressure by 20 points, reduced resting heart rate by 10 beats per minute. And we got rid of sleep apnea. That's a huge one because there are so many people that suffer with sleep apnea and are on CPAP machines for what they feel like is going to be their entire lives. And that to me is a huge one, right?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I forgot. I forgot. See, it's been years since I've used that stuff, or just about. I'm going like, wow, I forget about it because life is just so different. It's so different. But Mike has kept all those notes, and I mean, when somebody takes a picture of you and they post it in social media, and you don't recognize that person, you go like, wow. And here's a picture of you.
It
And
is
that's
it is
just
amazing.
Yeah.
that's just one little thing. And I mean, then Mike brings up the sleep apnea machine. I've totally forgot about that thing.
Well, and
And
one of my favorite stats for you too, Randy, I just wanted to pull it up because I got all of the measurements we've ever taken here, is that we took your body fat percentage from almost 30%. So we were sitting at like 29.6, and we took it all the way down to 18%.
And that
yeah,
was like literally from when you let us measure you.
Yeah.
Because when
that's
we
right.
started, that was not allowed.
So that
Exactly.
that right there just blows my mind, right? Like just seeing like a 15% reduction in body fat overall is huge, right? That's literally life-changing. That gives you so much back.
Mhm.
Well, I mean, my waist went from 53 inch to 39. What
Yeah.
what was my neck size there? How much did I drop my neck size, Mike?
Oh boy. Remember, I always used to joke around, necks don't change, and then Randy dropped 2.5 inches off his neck. That was always my joke because the first like 2 times we measured it was the same, and it was the only one that wasn't changing. And I was like, Randy, most people's necks don't change much. And then he went and made me eat my words and lost 2.5 inches off his neck.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, and we had a lot of fun doing it too because I mean, Mike and Kayla are very good at what they do. I'll tell you, and yeah, we always had a lot of fun, just like we are now, having fun about it and joking about it and going like, yeah, yeah. But
Well, life's about the journey, right? You got to be able to enjoy the journey, or else what are we doing?
So I do
oh
have
yeah,
another question for you there, Randy. Because
yep.
I'm gonna just go out on a limb here and say 10 years ago, you didn't expect to be where you are today. If you had advice to give yourself 10 years ago, what would it be?
Take a sabbatical, and like whether it's 6 months, whether it's a month, 6 months, if you're going to take a holiday, I mean, most of us, we only get 2 weeks holidays, and they're pretty precious, those 2 weeks holidays. You don't want to spend them, retiring, but see if you can take a sabbatical from work and just set your mind on fitness, because it'll make the world of difference in your job. I mean, some people are fortunate enough that at their office, whatever, they have a fitness center there that they can go at lunchtime and do it, or go for a jog. And that, their bosses are very encouraging about that. Getting in that fitness center and working out. And the other thing is, have a coach. Have a coach so that you do all your exercises properly. Because if you and that you this is the great thing about working with Mike and Kayla, is that they have an app, and they set the routine there for a reason, that you do it in a certain that you do this many reps, and then you go and move on to the next exercise, and take your 90 seconds rest period, then do your other exercise and do that many reps. And the way that they have it lined up, there's a reason for that. So that they get your muscles warmed up, and do your warm-ups, guys, and do your cool downs. It is important to do your cool downs as well as your warm-ups. Make sure you have time to do those.
You sound like me, Randy. I love it. It's like we spent a lot of time together over the years. I don't know. I love it.
Yeah. Well, it's easy to do if you're retired or take a sabbatical or that, and or take a part-time job on so that you can make this your full-time job if your health is in that bad a shape. So
It sounds like it really gave you back your life, and what a gift. I like to play devil's advocate. So I'm going to go on the other side of the spectrum and go, if you didn't make the changes that you made, how would your life be different?
oh wow, that's a full question. Full question, as in, well, I wouldn't be. I mean, last week I went and climbed a mountain. It was 400 meters up and 4 kilometers up.
So what I'm hearing is that that mountain probably would not have happened.
Well, I think we might have.
Randy?
Hold on.
Now I got my step counter there for 18,000, I think it is. So, but no, I mean, I wouldn't be doing the stuff I'm doing. I wouldn't, and I'd be on all the medications. I mean, right now I'm on no medication anymore because I mean, I told my doctor what I did, and he goes like, "Wow, awesome. So you don't need any of this medication anymore." Then he says, "We'll do the blood test and that, and everything's good, and your blood pressure's good, everything's good. So no, forget the medication. Who wants to be on medication?" And you just save so much money by not having medication. I mean, sure, I'm retired and I didn't know that, but yeah, get away from medication, and then the clothes you can buy, the clothes you can fit in. Go like, wow, let's get rid of those clothes. So,
Love it.
It sounds like a whole new world has opened up for you. And if you hadn't made those changes, you wouldn't get to experience all this life that you get to now experience in your retirement.
oh, exactly. I mean, here this afternoon, I'm hoping to do 1,000 steps or 1,000 stairs here this afternoon yet. So, find some stairs here in Edmonton and the city here, and go up and down them for 1,000 stairs. And I just love doing that. I just love doing the cardio now, and it's so awesome. And like I say, it costs you a lot of money to get where you are, and the electric bike is really nice too, because when you're that far out of shape, you just push the throttle, put it in higher, and it'll help you get home, but it'll challenge you at the same time. And just everything you can do is just so much easier. I mean, tying your shoes, you can just bend over and tie your shoes. You don't have to make them slip-ons. You don't have to put it on a step or anything. Lifting that piece of wood over there. Oh, I'll just do that. That's only 100 pounds. That's not a problem. And playing pickleball. I mean, playing pickleball is just like nobody wants to play against me. I got to move to a higher level to get the competition again now. So yes, it's a life-changing effort. I mean, like I said on my one social media platform, if this is 65, bring on 90, because this is just awesome. This is just awesome, guys.
So outside of coaching, so obviously, like you've talked a lot of nice stuff about us, and I'm always appreciative for that. But outside of coaching, for anybody that's listening to this podcast that is just, even just thinking about starting a journey, and again, outside of, hiring a coach, what would your biggest piece of advice be? What was the biggest takeaway for yourself at the start of this journey that you'd be able to give that advice to somebody else now?
I can't drink milk.
Avoid the milk. Okay, so in a way then, what I'm hearing is to really pay attention to sugar levels then, right?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, that's one thing about working with these guys too, is like, especially Kale, like but you can use probiotic yogurt. You like change this for this. You like your granola that you buy in the store, make your own granola. You got so much less sugar, so much less calories, but you got the whole nutrition part of it still. Change this product here to this product there. And the app that they use, it shows how much sugar you have in a day. If you're true to yourself, I mean, if you're true to yourself, put all your food down in that app. Do all your exercises that Mike and Kayla have on their app, and be true to yourself, so that when they look at yours, they can say, "Hey, he's working hard at it. That person is working real hard at it," and they'll answer your questions.
Yeah. I always like to say we're not the key holders, right? Like I will give anybody any of the information they need to be successful, because, and again, this is what I said to you when we first started, and I think you kind of called bullshit on me, but I was like, no, I'm not kidding. If I do my job right, I work myself out of my job. That's what I do.
100%. 100%. And
Yeah.
it sounds like your main takeaway here is, creating like healthy awareness with your nutrition, and also being very blatantly honest with yourself, rather than kind of going, oh no, I didn't do that, and turning a blind eye. It's like, no, I did that. I'm going to, accept it and own it and move forward from here. And this is how I grow and evolve. And now you've just grown it and evolved it into a lifestyle. This is part of just who you are now. This isn't a journey anymore. This is just
Randy.
This is just Randy, and Randy 2.0. I mean, the fact that people in your life that have been pivotal people don't even recognize you, like, then when you look in your own mirror and you don't fully recognize yourself, like, what an amazing transformation. And to look back on your life and go, look at what I did. And I think that you don't know how much of an inspiration you are to so many people. And I just feel that you're just going to keep sharing that zest for life, and you're going to change lives, whether you know it or not, through your story, through your impact, through your message.
Through your actions. Yeah.
100%. So
absolutely. I mean, life is so different now. I mean, it's just incredible. I mean, before I go to bed, I'm usually down there. I'm usually doing my after exercises, stretches, and it feels so good to do that. You get into that routine, and it's like, okay, but if you don't do it and you go to bed, you're like, oh, my body just doesn't feel right.
Yeah.
So you do those stretches. You do those stretches, and you think about it like, wow, I feel good now. I mean, my sleep since I've lost this weight too is just like, it's gone like 7-8 hours, no problem. Now sleep right straight through. Like, it's like, wow. And totally relaxed. But being retired helps too, though, because now you got no stressful job. So
it's amazing. So before we finish our chat here today with you, Randy, is there any last words or messages or anything else that you want to share with the listeners?
It's hard work. It's a full-time job, and it can be done. It can be done. I mean, just like people quit smoking, and you can lose weight, and you can get rid of sleep apnea machine, get rid of all your medication, and you can get your life back. It can happen. I mean, yes, it can happen. And a big thank you to Kayla and Mike for getting me through it and working with me on it. So,
oh yeah, I'd do it 10 times over, Randy. We absolutely love working with you, and this is why we do what we do.
We light the fire. You're the one that gets to move.
Yeah.
And
I believe I've said that to you a million times. I'm just the guy that makes the plan. If the plan doesn't have the person taking the action, nothing happens. So you were that action taker.
And
you are that action
you
taker.
executed it in such an amazing way. I actually even said to Mike at one point, I was like, I don't know how he does so much movement in his day. Like, it's exhausting knowing how much you move. And I love that you're saying, no, I love how much I move. In fact, when I move, I become energized by that. So like, it's just, it is truly inspirational, even for myself. I'm like, man, I wish I could move that much. So like, thank you so much, Randy, for allowing us to be part of your journey, because honestly, it is such an honor to be part of the process, to get to see people overcome obstacles and to truly step into their best version of themselves, and to take those pieces back for themselves and create a change in their life that can't be understated. It's honestly just so rewarding to be part of the process, and I'm forever grateful for that.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm grateful for it too. Very grateful. So
Well, thank you so much for taking the time to be part of the podcast and to share your message with everybody today.
Yeah, 100%.
you're very welcome.